Good evening, Speed Gaming. Welcome to the kickoff race for the 2025 Crystalis Randomizer Online Tournament. Let me just real quick drop the gate here, and then we'll do our real intro. So we're going to go ahead and just drop that gate right now. And, oh, where is that button to actually switch the view? Chris, if you have that. Oh, never mind, found it. There we go. Okay, hey, sorry, hi. We're professionals. I'm Code Gorilla. I'm joined by Big Daryl and Just Chris. How you guys doing?
I'm doing all right. How's it going for you?
It's going good. I'm excited for this tournament. This is our annual Crystalis Randomizer tournament. We got some new interesting flags going this year, which we'll get into when we actually get the race started. So, yeah.
Hey, getting
Okay.
everything all nice and straightened out on screen. Nice to see.
Awesome. Yeah, we have some, you can already see some updates to the tracker, which is great. We will get into what those means in just a moment. Shout outs to the tracker team because they did a lot of work for that on relatively short notice. So, yeah, it looks like we are getting started. We'll be syncing the streams in just a moment here, since there seems to be a little bit of desync here, but...
We're just giving the show a little bit of a head start. It's fine.
Yeah. But yeah, Matrick versus ShoFukomachi, both longtime community members. Matrick's, won a tournament before. Sho has been in all the tournaments and has been doing well. This should be a good race. Yeah, let's talk about this flag set. So the main thing you're going to see early on is we have shuffle houses on in this flag set. You'll notice both players were checking the houses in Leaf to see if there were anything useful there. I've been all over the place, so I didn't actually catch if there was anything useful there, other than I think the Leaf Shack was actually the Joel Shack that leads to the lighthouse.
Yeah, that kind of seems to be a thing with the flag set this year, is those two do get shuffled a bit, so...
Yeah, so the big change, the big new thing this year is that we have something in this, we're playing in an experimental branch of the randomizer that introduces the ability to use the Crystalis sword outside of tower, which means you have to actually find Crystalis somewhere outside of tower, which is usually triggered by the WH flag. That means the room that has Messia in the top of tower normally will be in one of the other external buildings throughout. And
yeah, so what are the requirements? Say you find Messia, do you just pop in and get Crystalis? Do you have to have all four swords?
You have to have all four swords. That part has not changed. So you have to find that, get all four swords, and then Messia will form Crystalis. Now, in terms of logic, Crystalis is A, an extremely powerful weapon, B, can break any wall and can also form ice bridges, and C, damage any enemy, and finally D is the only thing it's logically required for, though, is getting through to the very last staircase to Dinah. So you can go through, you might have to go through all of tower to get to the room that's at the top of tower in order to get Crystalis. Either because Messia got shuffled into her vanilla location at the top of tower, or because whatever location she did get shuffled to is blocked by something that is at top of tower. Yeah. Go ahead.
Oh no, I was actually just looking how these guys are doing the exact same thing, because they've been funneled pretty hard at this point. Nothing going on.
Yeah, not a whole lot of branching options yet. We don't have any swords yet, so can't break any walls. So really the only option you have is to go through GBC Cave. There was a little bit of scouting of some of the external buildings. The room at the top of tower is shuffled with the rest of the external buildings. So, for example, it's shuffled with Windmill, and it's shuffled with the Fisherman House that you saw there. And so these are the sort of buildings that you need to check to make sure you find Crystalis.
Yeah. So we noticed that houses themselves and other side rooms are shuffled and randomized, but stuff like Queen's Room is staying the same.
Not well.
Not always.
No, actually, Portoa Castle is one of the things that is shuffled. We just got lucky here, and Portoa Castle is actually in Portoa. But that is shuffled in the pool of other fortresses, so it could have been Chiron Temple, it could have been Sibera's Fortress, it could have been Goa. So...
Fun.
Yeah.
Either way, Matrick has found himself a windmill key and gone ahead and activated that windmill, so he is gonna go make a break for the Leaf Cave.
Yep. It looks like we're getting funneled into these first 3 checks in Sealed Cave here. Yeah, yes, I see it was a build your own windmill key. Now, let's talk about some of the other changes you might see on the tracker. You might notice, if you have watched other Crystalis Randomizer tournaments in the past, that there are no longer bows on the tracker, and that is because one of the flags we're playing with this year is no bow mode. We thought this would be an interesting way to show off Crystalis outside a tower by having tower be accessible as soon as you've defeated all the bosses and have all the swords, so that it might actually be logically relevant. So what that means is you don't need to go through Crypt to get to Dragon 2. You can instead just walk back into the Cryotube, and it'll take you directly to Dragon 2. And you don't need the Bow of Truth to reveal Dragon 2's true form. So Bow of Truth is now completely worthless, and Bow of Sun and Moon just get you into the 2 checks in Crypt if you already have Sahara access and Flight. So, towards that end, we also turned off a bunch of the glitches that we would normally have on in our tournaments in order to make 2 locations in particular much higher value. So, Evil Spirit Island, and by extension Zombie Town and the Shuffled Palace entrance there, and Mount Saber North, which has Kelbesk 1, which is one of our required bosses. So, the Saber North requirement skip is off. You have to actually talk to Leaf Elder, talk to Zebu's student, have telepathy, have teleport, talk to Zebu in his cave, talk to the rabbit, and then you can get into the front entrance of Saber North. None of this walking in between triggers to get past it. Similarly, ESI, we've turned on Vanilla Dolphin, so you have to go to the answering machine, you have to go heal the dolphin after going to the answering machine, you have to have the shell float, you trade in the item to the fisherman, and then you go to the beach house, and as a reminder, answering machine, fisherman, and beach house are all shuffled in their locations. You do all of that, and finally your shell flute is active, and you can use that to get into ESI. So on our tracker, you see on the second row, we now have the first thing on the second row is the Crystalis sword, and the second thing represents either ESI access or Saber North access, with the dolphin or the inn sign. So that's just a quick rundown of our tracker changes for this year.
Yeah. But either way, Matrick has found himself an alarm flute to wake up the sleeping Kensu and got himself a Sword of Thunder for that. So, it is time to beat a vampire.
Yep, looks like we're both going through Sibera's Fortress at the moment with the one sword that we have. It does seem like weaknesses are randomized this seed, by the way, because I saw them both beating up slimes with Sword of Thunder, which doesn't normally work. Let's see if Sabera 1 is defeatable. No.
Well, guess we're gonna go elsewhere.
Looks like this was in Chiron, which must be where the Sword of Thunder warped them to. Since they don't have any other way, they would have gotten Chiron. Or,
Nope.
was that Chiron or was that Zombie Town? No, I'm not sure.
I only caught a glimpse of the front gate, so
Yeah, and they're both pretty similar.
But either way, it's... Well, it would be bad if it was ESI, or Zombie Town, I should say. No, maybe that wouldn't be bad. Got themselves a Sword of Water going back for that item off the left path. Looks like Matrix gonna pop out and checkpoint. Nope, check out Chiron.
Yeah, Matrix already finished everything else in there. I guess he could technically go back to Sabera 1 and see if Sabera 1 is weak to water, but I understand not wanting to.
Yeah. At the same time, it's kind of one of those, like, maybe it's a good idea to get Sabera out of the way at low scaling, because she doesn't have as much defense and health now as she would later on. But...
Interesting. We got a barrier ring today. That should be a renamed shield ring.
Oh, it's Flail Guy, or Matrix People. Those are one of the few enemies we always know they're coming because they have that fun sound effect.
Matrix taking a slightly unfortunate death there, although not really that much of a loss, other than the time spent fighting these Flail guys.
Yeah. And Matrix just wisely like, yeah, no, you don't need to fight him again.
Meanwhile, Sho has decided to not check ESI and has gone a different direction.
Yeah.
Looks like is in the Portola region. Okay, we have Answering Machine at the vanilla spot.
And got battle armor from Lake of Rage. So not the greatest thing to get, but still pretty handy here early game, because armor is pretty nice, because generally, unless we pick it up, we're probably not going to get it. But that said, you want to tell them about the differences in armor as the game goes on?
Yeah, so armor, basically you have armor and you have shields. Armor will protect you against actually colliding with enemies. Shields protect you against projectiles. Generally speaking, there's like a cap to how much defense you can have of each type based on your level, from what I recall. And having good equipment means you can get to that cap more easily. But yeah. Okay, so we have Sho in the underground channel, checking out. Ooh, are those are speed boots? Sho just picked up the Hermes sandals, and is now rocking speed boots. That's pretty big for Sho.
Yeah, that is almost one of the items players would want to have to start the seed. So
yeah,
Sho finding this early is definitely a huge boon for him. Because Matrix is meanwhile still over here in the Chiron Styxy area, so he's exploring that, but now Sho's gonna go faster. Ooh, lots of soldiers over here too.
Yep. I see Axe made a comment in the chat saying, looking like vanilla weaknesses so far. We actually know that's not true because we saw both players stab slimes with the Sword of Thunder earlier, so it actually is guaranteed to not be vanilla weaknesses. Also, it looks like we've hit the, like, 1 or 0.5%, I forget what the actual odds are, of having every item in the game slightly misspelled or given a funny name. So that's something that can happen on rare occasion, and it looks like we have hit that this time.
Yep. And looks like Sho got stop, which is not the vanilla spell name.
No, I assume that's paralysis.
Yeah. But yeah, speaking to the item misspellings, I did notice that Magic Ring was spelled R-I-G-N, so
Yeah.
I thought I had, not seen correctly for a second.
Yeah, we just picked up an old statue. We've got potions in the shops. I know both players have picked up a couple of antidotes. So, we have fun here.
Yeah. It's fine. I didn't catch which cave Sho just went into. Did he pop into Fog Lamp or Carissa?
Yeah, this is Fog Lamp. So
that is a brave play.
yeah, usually you see players avoid the Portoa caves, but every now and then they can have something good.
Well, I mean, Waterfall's kind of the exception to that.
Yeah. Even then, I see some players avoid Waterfall until they have the Flute of Lime so that they can one-shot clear it and get the hint. But yeah, none of them are great. It does look like Matrick has found Pyramid and is about to take on Dragon 1 here. Of course, Dragon 1 forgot his iframes, so is a pretty easy fight, even with just the level 1 sword. That is one of our required bosses.
Yeah, I kind of feel like there was a slight programming oversight on that. I don't think he was supposed to be that easy.
I concur. Looks like refresh for ShoFukomachi. So at least you're getting something out of here,
It's definitely nice early on. Because you don't have a lot else to spend your magic on. Might as well just keep yourself alive.
Yep.
Meanwhile, Matrick over here going through the Oasis Cave. Which, if you're like those of us who played this as a child, hated this cave just for the maze.
It is definitely pretty miserable to figure out the first time. Thankfully, maps are not scrambled, so once you know your way through it, it's not too bad. Until you start playing, maps shuffle, and then this becomes the worst cave in the world again.
No, I don't know about the worst cave in the world. They're all pretty bad with map shuffle.
This one's considerably worse, I feel. But
yeah. This and Sabera's Fortress in Goa or Sabera's Floor in Goa, I should say, were the two worst maps I remember going through as a kid.
Yeah, I can definitely believe that.
Yeah, well before the age of the internet and before they, printed maps. So try writing this down as like a 7-year-old.
Seems like Fog Lamp might have been a bit of a bust for Sho. You got refresh out of there, but I feel like you probably would have, if you knew that the only thing in Fog Lamp was refresh, you might have skipped it.
Well, like Joe said in chat, Key to Prison was at the end, so
Key to
that
Prison's
could.
That means Flight is now access to Saber North, so that could be huge.
Yeah, so you said flight being the access. What are the other accesses to Saber North?
So there are 3 possible ways to get into Saber North on these flags, and one of them we already know is not going to happen this seed. The first way to get into Saber North is pick up Sword of Thunder and get lucky, and it teleports you to Nandara's. Boom, you're in Saber North. Option 2 is you have flight and you have the key to prison and you fly up the back entrance and you use the key to prison to get in through the back. And then option 3 is the vanilla intended way, which means you have to find Zebu Student, find the Leaf Elder, talk to both of them, then go talk to Zebu in his cave, then have telepathy and go talk to the rabbit, and then have teleports to be able to actually get in through to the entrance in Cordell Plains. That is the most difficult way to get into Saber North, but it does come up.
Yep, and that said, with the changes to... Matrick getting paralyzed again. With the changes to the flag set, sounds like that particular glitch where we can very carefully walk around triggers is turned off.
Yes, that is patched out, so you are going through there the intended way. And somehow, both players have ended up in Sealed Cave at the same time.
Don't worry about it.
They've been in completely different places for a while now, and now they're just both back in Sealed Cave.
And getting a potion for their troubles.
Yep. Now, Matrick is currently paralyzed, so he's coming back here to get himself petrified so that he can wear off the paralysis and be able to get through the wall that's at the very end of the cave. Perfect. He managed to get himself petrified where there's no enemies on screen, so he's completely safe.
Yeah, he was running a bit of a risk there with his health total. And I don't think he has the armor from Lake of Rage yet, so any hits would be not good.
Yep. Yes, this is, of course, their only access to the Brynmire region at this point, Cordell Plains. I think Akahana said he was looking for a lamp. It looks like in terms of shops, this is just a bunch, or in terms of houses, this is a bunch of item and armor shops and then an inn, so.
Yeah, sometimes you just need to heal up. Ooh, we found Oak Mom in Amazonas.
Yeah, not much you can do with Oak Mom without telepathy, but good to know for later.
Yep, because that's 2 items if we wind up having to go get a child.
Well, 1 item and then also the Oak Elder.
Yeah. No, I forget that once the child enters the town of Oak, that's the trigger. I was thinking the mom. Family's important. Didn't we all watch Fast and Furious?
Right, we have to remember Sho still has these speed boots that Matrick does not have. And so, for example, Sho was able to just run up the slope in Saber West. Looks like the walls in Saber West are thunder walls, so we are able to break them.
We're seeing an awful lot of soldiers around. Because Stixie had him, and it looks like Saber West is crawling with him too.
Yep.
Generally, these soldiers, nobody wants to fight, because the amount of hits they take to the amount of experience they give is pretty sad. But yeah, also, Sho picked up a ball of thunder somewhere I did not catch. Wow.
I feel like that was fairly recently, but I also did not pick up exactly where it came from.
Yeah. I've kind of just been laughing that Sho has the speed boots, but he and Matrix seem to be entering the same places pretty frequently.
Yeah, there is definitely some overlap there.
Ah, tornado bracelet spot.
Okay, so Sho literally just got it.
Yeah. Ooh. Hazmat suit, so one step closer to our Oak Child reunion.
Excuse me, I believe it's the Hazmata suit?
Hazmata, okay. Alright, you got me. I just read Haz and was like, ooh.
But yeah, it is interesting. They're going through this at about the same pace, despite Sho having speed boots. Because Sho's taking a little bit more time to kill enemies along the way, whereas Matrix is just barreling through as he is wont to
yeah.
do.
But I mean, we can't say that, you know, Matrix not behind. Technically, in scaling, Matrix is a bit behind right now, being almost 10 full key items behind.
Yeah.
So Sho taking those detours to other places while wearing these speed boots, I think has put him at a little bit better advantage, because he has more of the exploration done and kind of knows stuff Matrix doesn't.
I agree. Although there is the slight problem of, if Sho ends up checking all of these places that Matrix has already checked, it's still probably edge Sho, just because Sho is checking them with speed boots and is getting through all that junk that Matrix found faster.
Yeah, the real key here is going to be how long it takes Matrix to go into, get those Hermes sandals available from the Queen.
Yep.
Or, I'm sorry, Athena.
We have not yet found the Messia location. At least not that I've noticed. It could still be in Lighthouse, or otherwise this is a tower climb seed, I believe. Alright, looks like we have both players heading into the swamp. Looks like they're just going to go check the houses in Oak and get the warp point there. Oak has an inn, a pawn shop, the Joel Elder.
I always get those two elders confused, because he looks like the Leaf Elder.
Oh, that was the Leaf Elder. You are correct.
Oh, okay.
Because that was also Matrix. Matrix did not actually take the item from the Leaf Elder.
Oh.
Because his inventory was full.
That's a slight requirement.
He's going to be disappointed in just a moment here, because he's going to get to the end of this cave and Zebu is not going to be here.
Did they find the student?
I think so.
No. Yeah, they must have. Sho has him up on his screen. Yeah, there's his realization. Matrix figured out what he did.
Yep. It's an easy mistake to make, especially when the Leaf Elder just has some garbage you don't need. But, no, you are required to actually pick up the item in order to advance the triggers. You can see Matrix just kind of like shrug, yep, that happens. That's annoying, but it happens.
Yes, and I'm sure those were his exact words.
Alright. Sho is on his way to Crystal Plant Cave. And, except no we're not, because that needs Sword of Fire.
I don't believe either of them poked their head in a waterfall cave so far, correct?
Magic hasn't even been to that part of the world yet, I don't think. Because if you have been to that part of the world, the speed boots are one of the first things you pick up, I think. Oh.
Well...
That's pretty good. Did Sho pick that up? The wall type behind Zebu was a needed Sword of Fire. Sho did not pick up Flight. Well, that's... Okay, this is interesting now, because Flight is pretty huge.
Flight is kind of the great equalizer, because it opens up so much access. Because with our access to... Well, they don't have change, so they can't go to the world through that, but they do have access to behind the Queen's Chamber, so they can get access to Joel.
Oh, Metric is making this big detour that probably isn't going to matter, because he already has Flight and... Key to Prison?
He did not. And Sho gets his Flight, so where's Sho going?
I mean, if I were Sho, I'd be going straight to Mount Saber North, because you've got Key to Prison and you've got Flight. Gonna stock up on Warp Boots first. Sure, makes sense.
Yeah, something tells me Matrick might not be getting that Key to Prison for a while, because with it being a fog lamp cave, it's probably going to be one of his later checks.
Alright, looks like Sho is going to explore the ocean.
Are you not able to... Oh, he might be going to Joel first, it looks like. Or not? No, guess so.
Yeah, going to Joel.
Can you not get the item in the cave if you're flying?
Nope, you have to be on the dolphin. To get the one in the underwater channel. Alright, there's our leaf rabbit. Looks like Joel is otherwise a bust.
Well, who needs Joel when you have... I already forget the name of this town. Swan.
Yep. Alright, Swan's got the Swan Pub, we've got the Swan Dance Hall, we've got the Swan Shack. Got just a bunch of things already in Swan. Okay.
We also have Stop, so if we come across Kensu, we can... Or, disguised Kensu, we can start that. But now...
Sho did just start it. He could have gone as far as finding out what's-his-face actually wants, but it looks like he is not doing that at this time.
Ooh, Sho running into ice walls. Or, rather, fire sword walls.
I actually think that was a Sword of Wind wall. Shows you using a slightly different palette than I'm used to, so the walls look a little weird to me, but I'm pretty sure that was Sword of Wind.
Ah. Sho looks like he's gonna go test his luck against Sabera.
Didn't Sho already test his luck against Sabera with these two swords? He
No.
hasn't picked up a third sword.
No, he did not go back with Sword of Water. We thought he might, but he chose not to.
Oh. Okay. Well. Again, I know Axe is wrong. I know weaknesses are randomized. Yeah, okay. So, both players could have done Sabera 1 a while ago. Sabera was hiding her weakness in her own fortress. Which seems like a terrible place to keep it, but...
It is RPG tradition.
Meanwhile, Matrick has made his way into Goa proper.
And Sho getting a bow of uselessness.
be half of crypt access. It's like 1/2 of 2 checks. But yeah, it's pretty useless.
I just can't wait for the day we inevitably make Crystalis able to damage the lions. We can make him a secret boss. Meanwhile, Matrick found his way into Goa Fortress, where he's gonna fight General Linebacker and sort of Thunder Weakness, so hey, we're not warping back.
We're making it at least a little bit deeper into Goa here.
And Sho right on his heels, looks like.
I think Sho is exploring this part of the world for the first time.
That he is. He decided to everywhere else and then Goa.
Yep.
Probably because I feel like it's such a dense, check-heavy area that theoretically, get some of the side stuff out of the way, you're not going to have to go back hunting for it later, where you might forget something.
Yeah, you also just... You would like to not double dip Goa if you can avoid it. So it's nice to try and go in there when you already have all 4 swords. But then sometimes you have, like this, a sword in Goa. So that was the Sword of Wind for Matrick.
Sho not quite getting the 1 cycle, being that pixel off on his multiple stabs.
Now Sho has caught up in terms of number of bosses. Sho picked up a Maiden's Kiss and it's like, what in the hell is that? Turns out it is a Fruit of Lime, which means he correctly tossed it immediately to the floor.
Yeah, Fruit of Limes sound really useful, but...
Do they actually?
Well, I mean, they're about as good as Fruit of Rapunz.
That doesn't... That's not a good argument.
It's not the most useless item in the game, it's equal to. That's a fairly good argument. Cure scurvy, as Mashima says.
Alright, so... Sho is checking out the various things in Sahara. Given that when Matrick was in this part of the world, Matrick did not have flight. But Sho is now... Oh, I guess this is the Goa entrance that Matrick has been to, and I just missed that this is where it was. And no, Sho, that glitch is not on. Okay, Sho, buddy, you have barrier. What are you doing?
Don't worry about it.
Sho, oh my god. You're missing out on a sword by not... Okay. If only Sho had barrier. That's correct.
Yeah, Sho had barrier for a minute.
In any case, Matrick is now climbing Mount Hydra again. We did, by the way, get stopped in Goa. We need a Sword of Fire to go... At least go any further forwards in Goa. You might be able to make some progress backwards.
So with Sho dipping into the Oasis Cave a little later, he's probably going to check the Power Ring spot as well. And Matrick finding our Storm Bracelet, which is probably the only thing we have in the game that I can think of off the top of my head that requires a bit of a flashing light warning.
Yeah. Alright, looks like the climb to the top of Mount Hydra was just for an opal statue, in addition
We
to
got
that
a
thorn bracelet.
Carissa plant from Sho.
Yep.
And a Bert!
Hi, Bert. Hi, Bert.
And just Fruit of Power in the Power Ring spot. Sometimes you hope for the vanilla placement. Depends on how quick you get Flight.
We have Sho going into the back of Goa. If any of Carmine, Motto 2, or the wall in Carmine's area are weak to wind, Sho is going to have a bad time for not realizing that barrier could have got him in the front.
Yeah. And it looks like Slime Kensu wanted a ivory statue, which I don't believe either player has found yet.
Nope, I don't recall anyone having seen it yet.
And Sho picking up Recover Eyes.
Nope, now he's remembered he has barrier.
Yeah, it's fine. So it looks like the Goa floors are vanilla. They are not shuffled.
That is correct. That flag is not on in this tournament's flag set. Yes, our tracker making a good point in the chat that we probably just have vanilla trade-ins at this point, since that is one of our mystery flags for this flag set. There is a chance that all of them are vanilla, and everything has seemed to be vanilla so far.
Good old tri-state flags.
Alright, there's Carmine down. Matrick is going to have a much faster time with Carmine, by the way, because Matrick has managed to find the Blizzard Bracelet and should take out... Oh, no. Matrick does not have the Blizzard Bracelet. Matrick Sword Charge glitch into the Blizzard Bracelet earlier for Sabera. But actually still only has the level 1 Water Sword.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I know this game goes fast, and I might have missed quite a bit, but I didn't think I'd missed 2 key items there.
Alright, looks like Sho is through the wall in Carmine's area, so that's good for Sho. Get to keep going. Let's see if Motto 2 is defeatable. Sure, taking the time to kill a couple bats just to get that level. Does Matrick not have barrier? Or is Matrick just choosing not to menu there?
He may not have it. Because I think Sho got barrier from his early exploration, which a lot of it has not been done by Matrick.
Could be, could be.
Alright, so we know it's not water or thunder Mado 2 is weak against, so Sho wisely choosing to dip out.
Yeah, again, if it ends up being wind, which we'll know when Matrick gets there, that's not good for Sho.
No.
Especially if Sword of Fire is in between Motto 2 and Sabera 2.
And Matrick busting an Opal on Carmine, and then promptly getting his revenge.
Yeah, I mean, Opal gives you so many iframes that happens a lot. Because usually it just means you get to stab the boss repeatedly with impunity.
Yeah, it also depends on our flag set and the runner themselves, how much they want to keep that Opal around.
Yeah, as it turns out, Opals are not particularly useful at all in this flag set.
I mean, unless you just completely face tank a boss the first time and just decide, you know what, I'll take that 20 seconds back.
Okay, well, Matrick got poisoned when going through the hallway, fell down, reset, then realized that his checkpoint was from before defeating Carmine, so is now refighting Carmine. Which is unfortunate.
Yeah, so about what I said about that Opal.
But one of the reasons you don't need Opals as much is, by the end of the seed, you're gonna have Crystalis. One interesting side effect of having Crystalis, you get free passage up the tower. You don't actually have to fight any tower robots at all. Which means the entire tower climb is sort of irrelevant. And of course, Dragon 2 is much easier if you get to fight Dragon 2 with the
with the Crystalis.
Yeah, with Crystalis. Sho has now picked up all 3 Opal statues. Which is good in that it's nice to have Opal statues for some of the tough bosses. If you have to fight Motto 2 at a high scaling with weak weaponry, you'll be happy to have those. But it's also kind of unfortunate because you need inventory space to be able to have work boots, and you can see he's struggling with... He's got 4 magic rings, 3 opals, and he doesn't want to get rid of any of those. But that means you only have 1 spot for work boots, which really slows down and restricts your travel around the map.
Yeah, at least until they stumble across teleport.
Yeah. Yeah, then it becomes a non-issue. Okay. Motto is not weak to wind. Motto is weak to fire. So, Sho not getting maximum punished, you have to have the Sword of Fire to make it into the middle of Goa, from whichever direction you come from.
There's that.
Alright, looks like Sho is doing the Tag Kensu. And yep, wants the Love Pendant, as we expected. And apparently had some sort of junk consumable. Which Sho didn't even get a chance to pick up because his inventory was full.
Oh no!
If it was secretly a pair of warp boots, you're going to be kicking yourself for having shelled out the money for the pair of warp boots, but... Otherwise, yeah, hot garbage.
See, now the problem's turning into the only trade-in he has left is the Carissa plant, but he needs to find change for that.
Yep. I don't know that we have seen any wind walls.
Yeah, we're not 100% sure because Sho's palette is a little, brighter and different. So we might have seen one earlier, but... Or as Tornell said, I guess we've seen it on Saber North.
Yeah, that's the one we were talking about. The one you were talking about with the weird palettes. Yes, I think that's correct. I think there was a wind wall on Saber North. Which means Matrick needs to do Fog Lamp Cave to get the key to prison, and Sho needs to do the front of Goa to get the Sword of Wind. So we see Sho has remembered that barrier works to get into the front of Goa. Congratulations.
It just took Carmine to remind him.
Meanwhile, Matrick is doing Portoa area things, which I don't believe he has done yet. Got the battle armor, got the answering machine.
Oh wow, straight into Fog Lamp. Or no, guess that's Carissa.
Yeah. That's true. Matrick is about to pick up his speed boots here. And
I kind of wonder what his react.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it looks like on the ocean is the key to Styx. That is Sticks.
I mean, it's just as good as the vanilla spelling.
Matrick now flying out onto the ocean to check the couple of houses out here. Got the fisherman at the beach house.
Yep, and just Chris pointing out Matrick still needs to go into Fog Lamp for that key to prison.
Yeah. Sho is about to pick up this Sword of Wind. And it does seem pretty likely that our progress is on Saber North at this point. Where did Matrick pick up this... Oh, maybe right there. I was about to say, where did Matrick pick up this Storm Bracelet? Literally right there on Sabera's floor. Good timing. I don't think we know for sure that it's Vanilla Crystalis, because it could be...
Lighthouse.
It could be Lighthouse, yeah.
And we do have early access to the shed, which traditionally leads to Lighthouse.
It's certainly going to lead to the Lighthouse exterior. Yes, I think both have checked Beach House. Beach House is the Fisherman House. It turns out Tag Kensu was just a medical herb, so... Alright, Sho has put together the pieces and is now on his way to fight Kelbesk 1. Meanwhile, Matrick is a little bit short of funds, so is farming this Mimic in Mizame to presumably afford more work boots. Looks like Kelbesk 1 has the vanilla weakness and is weak to Sword of Wind, and Sho is just using Barrier and these opals to get aggro and get in there and stab, 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 which honestly I like that approach a lot here.
Yeah, this is the one fight, like, I think opals are really, really wanted. Because that particular version of Kelbesk really does not know what personal space is.
Absolutely, yeah. Alright. Meanwhile, Matrick has found his way into Fog Lamp and is going to eventually pick up this, what's it called?
Key to prison.
Yeah.
Sho, meanwhile, has gotten his flame bracelet, so when he gets that flame sword finally, we'll have a full power flame sword.
And again, I'm sorry, but that was the Fame bracelet? Don't you love these misspellings?
I have to ignore them as much as possible.
So yes, Sho did find the Statue of Gold in Mount Saber North there, which means you could go get the key to Stixie now, which is probably important.
Probably?
Yeah.
But yeah, Sho also grabbing the ball of water, or orb of water, from the guy hiding in Zombie Town, because that was mixed in there.
Yep.
Did we ever give him a name?
Clark. His name is Clark.
Clark. Okay.
I believe that's just canon to the original game. Alright, Magic has now picked up the key to prison and is on his way into Saber North. So, not that far behind Sho. Sho is basically all of Saber North ahead of Matrick at this point. I think otherwise they're on pretty equal footing in terms of what they've checked and what they've done at this point.
Yep. Rabbit necklace.
Yes, Dio's pendant.
Was that the
Magic.
last check on North?
Yes it was. Because he got the one in the prison cell on his way down.
Yeah.
So, it's got to be that key to Stixie that's actually important. The gold statue into key to Stixie, because I don't think anything else picked up there was logically relevant for anything.
No, I don't think so.
Yep, as Zero says in the chat, it's always Stixie.
Except when it's not.
Except when it's not. Yeah, J-Ro pointing out that Matrick is 3 levels behind, and then Chris correctly pointing out that that really only matters up until the point where you pick up Crystalis, at which point levels kind of stop mattering. Combat... Crystalis kind of trivializes all combat, for better or for worse. Sho is going back to Chrysoplant.
Carissa.
I don't know if he had been there before, but I thought he had.
He had not. Or if he did, I don't remember it.
Yeah.
So we know with Chrysoplant being Fire Sword required that Waterfall should share the same wall weaknesses, shouldn't it?
No, it can be completely random.
Oh.
Yeah. All 3 of those caves are independent of each other.
For some reason I thought they were tied together.
Alright. Sho now out on the ocean, going to pick up that key to Stixie. Yeah, we're still looking for Motto 1. It's just Motto 1 at this point, right? The 2 palaces we haven't found are Motto 1 and Stixie itself.
Yeah?
Yeah. And so this is either going to be a required boss fight, or it's going to be 6 items that are pretty quick to get. I think either way you're pretty happy with that. Matrick once again running into some cash flow issues, and beating up on some mimics to handle that.
I'm still just curious why they're not tipping Waterfall Cave. I know the Flute of Lime is traditionally a big factor, but there's still plenty of other checks in there.
Yeah, I mean, when you have this clear line to get to one of the palaces, I definitely think you prioritize that.
Oh, yeah.
Because, like, this is going to tell you, okay, this tells you that ESI access is not necessary this seed. Oh, and there's a Sword of Fire.
Fire-er.
Sword of Fire. Okay, so, that's pretty good. That means Motto 1's available. It means you can clear out the rest of Goa. And at this point, you are looking for... Now, at this point, there's something interesting going on here. So, you have the ability to beat all of the rest of the bosses, but you have not found Crystalis yet. There are 2 external buildings you haven't checked. Is it 2? Yeah, it's 2. It's the top of tower, and it's Lighthouse. And so, the question is, do you keep looking for items, looking for the eyeglasses, or do you gamble that Crystalis is at the top of tower and just go mode through the rest of the stuff and do the tower climb and just hope you get paid off with Crystalis at the end of it?
That is a fun question I do not want to ask, because if your opponent chooses the other way and is right, it's not good.
I think if I were in their spots right now, I would be... First of all, I'd be going to Goa.
Oh, yeah.
Obviously. But I think I would at least pick up all the items on Motto's floor. Because that's all you've got left in Goa at the moment. I would pick up those items, because they're relatively on the way. But if I don't have eyeglasses by the end of that, I'm climbing tower. Especially, you got Flame Bracelet, like, you've got the easy button for tower. Yeah.
I mean, either way, your first choice has to be finish Goa.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, earlier I spoke about hating maps as a kid. No, I forgot all about Calbesk Floor.
Yeah. I was gonna say, Calbesk Floor might be the actual most miserable map in Map Shuffle, and does a very good job of imitating what it feels like to play vanilla, which is to say, completely miserable.
Playing vanilla blind. No, Mashma, I got to disagree with you there. Calbesk Floor is the one I spent the most time on as a kid.
Oasis Cave has a system, because it's always 3 concentric rings. Like, once you understand that, and if you're doing it with flight, I do think trying to do Oasis Cave without flight is pretty miserable.
Oh no! Sabera weak to wind?
That's rough.
The one sword they don't have any balls for.
Alright, I like what Sho is doing here, and I definitely think it is worth it at this point. No, this is not going to be a terrible Sabera fight. This is going to be a sword charge glitch. If Sho remembers his way to the exit.
Yeah, going through these floors backwards is a lot different.
But yeah, this is a save point, so you can set up sword charge glitch here, which is exactly what you see Sho doing, and then you just do the run back. It does mean you are stuck on flight for the Sabera fight and not barrier, but in exchange you get to temporarily have Tornado Bracelet, and that is an exchange that is absolutely worth it. I would not be surprised to see Matrick do the same thing, honestly.
My only caveat to that is, while Tornado Bracelet does cost very little, it's not doing a ton of damage, and he's eating through the MP. But if he doesn't need to, well, he might not need all of his MP.
No, it's very cheap. It's only, what, 6 MP? 8 MP?
8.
I forget.
8.
Yeah. when you have 180, you're fine.
Yeah, he started with about 130 something or less, so it's kind of where I was like, But no, he's dealing enough damage to Sabera. He should be good.
Yeah. And you can see Magic did the exact same thing. And there we go. That's Sabera 2 down in what would have been much faster than trying to just do it straight with a level 1 sword.
Yeah.
A good heads-up play from both of these players.
Meanwhile, Sho with an inventory full of jewelry. And head talk! We got some telepathy.
Okay, that could be useful.
Well, that gives us Oak Mom again, and it's kinda it, isn't it?
Do they have change? They don't have change, so that's not Dio. Yeah, it's Oak Mom and Oak Elder, and I don't even... Have we not seen Oak Elder?
Not to my knowledge. Sho did find the shell flute, so that's item in the back of the river.
If they haven't seen Oak Elder, then that means Oak Elder has to be in Zombie Town, because I think they've been to every other spot.
Yeah.
Every other town. Yep, Chris and Tornell coming to the same conclusion in chat.
And meanwhile, Matrick doing what I feared Sho would do and running out of magic.
Yeah, Sho has 3 levels on Matrick, and this is a fight where that really makes a difference. Oh, there's an Orb of Wind on Motto's floor.
If only Sho went in the backside. Unless Mato 2 is weak to wind.
We know Mato 2 is weak to fire.
Yeah.
So, although I don't think Sho knows that for sure, because I don't think Sho tested Sword of Wind on Motto 2.
No, I think he only had water and thunder at the time.
Yeah.
Axeman pointing out our old pal Brokahana is also probably going to be in Zombie Town.
Well, they can't both be there. There's only one house there. Which means we've missed something at some point, which is very possible. I have not paid attention to every single house either player has entered. Right,
and Sho taking down. Pinball Wizard is no more. We got the 3D glasses! Well, there's our...
There we go, that's go mode.
Well, once Sho decides to go back and beat Mato 1 in Chiron, or whichever location that was. I think it was key to Stixie.
Yes. But first, yeah, check this first to see if it's actually Crystalis. No. Okay, he's gonna stock up on work boots first, sure. But yeah, check this first to see if it's Crystalis, to just give you a... No, go check it! No, Sho, go check... Oh, Sho, buddy. Buddy, pal.
I don't know, there was a person in the leaf shed, so...
Yeah, you know what it is you don't always notice this, but once you beat Sabera, Clark moves and is in the Joel shed, and I don't think Sho realized that that shed was in fact the Joel shed. And so now he's going to go here.
And he's going to be just as confused as I was.
Yeah.
Yeah, something I did not know about this game.
Yep.
Oh Oh, there it is.
Alright, there's Crystalis.
Now it's a real race to the finish.
Yeah, Sho is only very slightly ahead of Matrick here, because Matrick is heading straight there, and Matrick probably does know, yeah, that this is exactly the shack that he needs. Oh, Sho. Sho, where you going, buddy? That's not the right place. You wanted to work with Chiron.
I think he realized that.
And Matrick forgetting that he hasn't killed Motto 1. There we go. He figured it out. Needs to kill one last Mimic to get the money to buy a pair of Warp Boots to work to Chiron.
Doing the same thing at the same time.
Yeah, they're neck and neck now. I think Matrick's just being a little bit faster with the menuing. This is close. This is very close. Yeah, you can see the power of Crystalis here as it kind of just deletes enemies that you wouldn't normally fight. That said, it doesn't take a zero amount of time, but it killed that robot in 2 hits. Like,
yeah, and robots are very beefy. Six hits from Sho. Straight to Dragon 2.
That was a Bow of Sun, by the way, off of Motto.
Oh, that's gross. Kind of like that placement for the Dragon lasers.
Yeah. Oh, Sho doesn't know the trick for firing faster with Crystalis. So the thing is, you can only have one Crystalis shot on the screen at a time. Which means, what you really want to do is get up in Dragon's face as much as possible.
RNG not being Sho's friend at the moment. So Matrick takes a bit of a lead.
Yeah, in which case this is over, because, as mentioned, you do not have to do anything in tower.
Just sprint to the end.
Oh boy. Yeah.
Alright, here we go. Final fight on Matrick's side. Don't blink.
It'll be 3 cycles.
Good old Skynet.
Once Crystalis came into the picture, levels don't matter. And that is Matrick done with an official race time of 1:12:21. And ShoFukomachi done with an official race time of 1:12:26. That is a 5-second difference. That race at the end...
RNG. Look at their reactions.
Like... Oh, I can't wait to get the two of them in here. That was a fantastic race to kick off this tournament. I am thrilled with how that turned out. Given how divergent they were at the beginning, and then they kind of came together at the end. GG's, Matrick. What a race. Holy moly.
I should have lost that. I absolutely should have.
Oh, that was...
I can't believe that. I should have lost it because I had made a mental note right at the very end. All right, you're going to do this, you're going to do that, you're going to go back to Mado. And then I was like, as soon as I was done with everything and I got the last puzzle piece to get Crystalis, I was like, oh, cool. Who cares about Mado until I walked to the thing? And you probably saw it on my face. I laughed like, wait a minute. Oh, God, you dolt.
Yeah, Sho had his own little mix-up there at the end, too. GG's to Mr. Sho.
Unbelievable.
Oh,
Just
what a
unbelievable.
race.
So, Matrick, you wanna tell Sho what you did there with Mado 1?
Oh, I almost threw it away, dude. I after I did everything and got Crystalis, I had made the mental note since Mado was so far out of the way. I went and triggered Mado 1 at the front of Goa, went in, finished Sabera 1 and Sabera 2 and Mado 2, and then I got the X-ray glasses, which got me Crystalis. And so I was like, cool, I'm done. And then I walked up to Dragon and went, no, I need Mado. And then I had to go back up the mountain. So that was a throw. I should have lost that one.
There was a lot of back and forth in that race. It was a very close race, like throughout.
Can we talk about the first half of my game? How I never had more than like 2 pixels of health on the screen.
Yeah,
What was that early game?
Yeah,
There was some brutal combat in that one. Surprisingly difficult combat.
My God.
Yeah.
Yeah, if I had trouble using the eyeglasses for some odd reason. I just couldn't remember which one was what, and then
Oof. Yo, you didn't have Clark in there?
I did, and then I was like, "Oh, I don't need to check this place," and then I don't know, I blanked. I was like,
I think Clark being there actually threw you off because you went and checked the other two, and then went back to Clark.
I felt like for having, no joke, done 3 of these since the signups were done. I've done 3 seeds. My combat's not up to par. I definitely had problems getting around the map on this one. Money was extremely tight.
Money was terrible this seed.
Yeah, I noticed you did
tight.
a lot of farming on that Mimic and Mezeme.
I killed it 3 total times. We couldn't kill it for the first half of the seed either because it was immune to both water and thunder. So it's like I tried to kill it, I was going, okay, all right, that's fine. But yeah, that was a good inaugural seed. It didn't give us Crystalis right away. I can only assume that routing probably had me getting those speed boots long after show because I kind of put off rage until I was pretty much out of everything else to do.
Yeah, it did. Show did have those speed boots much earlier.
Yeah, I don't think I got them until almost 40 minutes in.
Yeah, because it was after, wasn't it after, it was after your first trip into Goa, certainly.
You know what, it probably was after even I got the fire sword, so it might have been an hour in that I got them. I wasn't paying attention to my timer. I just know it was, I'm looking at the the scoreboard here at the end, and I'm going, yeah, you know what, it might have even been after Goa when I got the fire sword.
I don't think
because
so,
then at
because
that point,
think it was on your way, those speed boots were on your way to the Sword of Fire.
Was it? Okay, maybe.
Yeah, because you got them from Asina in the back room.
Correct.
Yeah.
And I didn't go back to Rage. Oh, it would have been, that's right, it would have been after Wind. So it would have been sometime, in the 40 to 50 minute range.
Yeah,
that would have been
because you had to do, there was a point where neither of you, clearly the progress was in Saber North, and you each had half of the puzzle, where one of you had the Sword of Wind, and one of you had the key to prison that you needed to get into the back of Saber North. And so you ended up both getting the other halves at close to the same time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. There was a lot of areas that had a lot of nothing that I spent a lot of time in.
Yeah.
Like Saber South.
Yeah.
Saber South was slow. And then I never got into Carissa Cave. Fog Lamp had a lot of nothing.
It had your key to prison.
I did have the key to the prison.
Oh, well, okay. It had a lot of nothing other than that. Was it?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, it was a bunch of nothing. That's for some reason that's all I remembered out of there.
I hate to cut you
Hydra
off, but
didn't
I
have
do
anything
think
good.
we are pressed for time on this channel. So I just want to real quick talk about the other races coming up in the next week. Tomorrow we have myself versus Just Chris at 9 p.m. Eastern. We have Tornell versus Uranium Anchor at 8 p.m. on the 13th, which is Wednesday. J-Ro Boy versus Tinding at 7 p.m. on the 14th. And Mashima versus Dragon Dark at 3 p.m. on the 16th, which is Saturday. Yeah, we know that the race tomorrow will be on Speedgaming 2. The other ones haven't been placed yet, but keep an eye out for further updates. Gentlemen, thank you for that race. That was a fantastic way to kick off the season, and I look forward to more in the future. Any last words from anyone before we wrap things up?
Big thanks to Speedgaming for hosting us.
Yes. Oh, and big shout out to the tracker team. We thought we weren't actually going to have trackers for this match, and then they managed to whip it together in the first 5 minutes of this match, and we had trackers for basically the entire thing. Fantastic job, folks. Big props. And the only reason it came in so hot is because I gave them the updates for it Friday night. So that part's on me. Big props for that very quick turnaround.
Right on.
Yakko, jeez.
All right. Thank you, everyone, and that'll do it for tonight.